The alien marketplace was loud, dirty, and full of strange smells. Metal smoke mixed with the scent of unknown alien food. Lights flickered above every stall. Creatures from 10 different planets shouted prices, argued with sellers, or pushed each other to move faster. But in the center of all that noise, one corner was painfully silent. A young alien girl sat on a cold metal platform. Chains were wrapped around her wrists, ankles, and neck. A glowing collar blinked every few seconds, sending tiny shocks through her body. She tried not to make any sound when it happened. She had learned long ago that crying only made the guards angry. Her skin was pale, thin, almost sickly. Her hair, once bright, was now tangled and lifeless. Her eyes looked tired, but still had a small spark. Something between hope and fear. Everyone else in the market ignored her. To them, she was nothing, just a broken creature. A thing, until the human arrived. Humans were rarely seen on this planet. Everyone always whispered stories about them. They said humans were from a death world, stronger, tougher, hard to kill, dangerous. So when a tall human male walked into the market, the crowd moved away from him without needing to be told. He wasn't here to buy slaves. He wasn't here for trouble. He was simply passing through, trying to find parts for his ship. But the girl noticed him immediately. She lifted her head slowly, like it took all her energy. Her eyes locked onto him. She watched him walk, watched how calmly he moved, how everyone stepped aside, how his presence alone changed the air. She whispered to herself, "Human." He walked closer, checking different stalls. He didn't even look in her direction. He had no reason to, but she couldn't look away. Years ago, she had heard stories too. Stories that humans sometimes helped people, even strangers. Stories that they didn't like seeing others in pain. Stories that humans hated chains. She didn't know if those stories were true, but at this moment, she had no one else to hope for. And then, as the human passed near her cage, her body moved on its own. She crawled forward, metal chains scraping loudly against the floor. The guards turned sharply, ready to pull her back, but she ignored them. She dragged her weak body until she was at the very edge of the platform. She reached out her hand, "SHFY, and she spoke. Her voice was so soft that at first the human didn't notice. Then she forced her voice louder, a voice filled with fear, pain, and desperate hope. Can you buy me?" The human froze. He slowly turned his head toward the sound. The girl's eyes widened, filled with tears. She pressed her forehead into the cold metal floor and whispered again, "Please, please buy me. Please take me with you." The crowd around them went silent. Aliens stared in shock. No one had ever heard her speak like that. The guards tensed. The human stepped toward her, confused. Why are you asking me?" He asked gently. Her voice cracked. "Because if you don't." She swallowed hard. "They will kill me. Tonight." The human felt a cold chill run down his spine. The girl raised her head slowly. Her bruised face trembled, but her eyes didn't leave his. "Please, I don't want to die. I will work. I will listen. I will obey. Anything. Just don't leave me here." The market owner laughed harshly. "Human, don't listen to her. She's broken goods, a failed project. Not worth even one credit." But the human's eyes narrowed. "Project?" he asked. The owner shrugged. "Government experiment. They made her wrong. She has no value. We just need her gone." The girl flinched. The human knelt down so he could see her face clearly. She looked terrified but hopeful. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Please, take me away. You are strong. You can protect me." A guard suddenly kicked her aside for begging. Her body hit the metal hard. She didn't scream. She just curled up and whispered, "Please." The human's hands clenched into fists. He had seen cruelty before, but something about this girl felt different. Something more than fear. Almost like she knew something dangerous. He noticed the surgical scars on her back, the marks on her wrists, the strange glowing symbols on her collar. This wasn't a normal slave. Something bigger was happening here. He stood up slowly and faced the owner. "How much?" he asked, voice cold. The owner looked surprised. "You really want her? If you take her, the problem becomes yours." The girl's heart raced. She looked at the human with wide, trembling eyes. He looked back at her, and in that moment, she saw something she hadn't seen in years. Kindness. The human spoke softly. "I'm not buying a slave. I'm saving a life." The guard stiffened. The owner frowned. The girl covered her mouth as tears fell silently. For the first time she whispered, "Thank you." But at the same moment, her collar started glowing brighter, reacting to this human's presence. The owner stepped back in fear. "You fool," he hissed. "Do you even know what she is?" The human's eyes narrowed. The girl looked up at him, terrified. "If you take me," she whispered, "everything will change." The screen fades to black. The human stood still for a moment, feeling the weight of the marketplace's silence pressing against his back. Every alien eye watched him, some curious, some afraid, some eager for chaos. But his own eyes were locked on only one thing, the girl. She sat with her head bowed, tears slipping quietly down her cheeks. She didn't look like a warrior or a weapon or a government experiment. She looked like someone who hadn't been treated as a living being for a long time. He took a slow breath and faced the market owner. "I'm buying her," he said firmly. A wave of murmurs spread through the crowd. The owner narrowed his eyes. "Human, listen carefully. You don't know what she is. You don't know what trouble you are inviting." The human didn't blink. "Name your price." The owner sighed deeply and tapped a device on his wrist. A long list of warnings appeared on a hologram. Property of off-world military, high risk. Asset, behavioral instability, restricted genetic model. Dangerous if provoked. But the human didn't flinch. "Price," he repeated. The owner stared at him for a moment, then smirked. "Fine, 100 credits." The crowd gasped. That was extremely cheap for any slave, even a broken one. The human frowned. "That's nothing." "That's the point," the owner replied quietly. "We don't want her here. We want her gone. If someone strong like you takes her, our problem disappears." The girl lifted her head weakly as she heard that. So this was her worth? Not even the price of a meal? Her fingers trembled. She looked at the human, afraid he would change his mind after hearing the truth. But he didn't. He transferred the credits without hesitation. The ownership transfer beeped. The chains unlocked with a sharp click. The collar, however, stayed on glowing faintly. The human stepped toward her carefully. She hesitated at first, unsure if she was allowed to move. Then he extended his hand slowly, like someone approaching a frightened animal. "It's okay," he said. Softly, "You're free now." She stared at his hand, as if she had forgotten what kindness looked like. Then she reached out with shaking fingers and touched him. A small spark jumped between their skin. She gasped softly. Jerking back, the collar blinked a warning light. The human frowned. "Does it hurt?" She shook her head quickly. "No, it's not pain. It's..." She looked confused, almost scared to say it. "It's something else." Before he could ask what she meant, the owner barked loudly, "Take her and go, human. Before someone reports this." The human nodded and helped the girl stand. She staggered on weak legs, almost falling forward. Without thinking, he caught her. She froze at the contact. "No one has held me like this," she whispered. He steadied her gently. "You won't fall. I promise." They started walking toward the exit of the market. Every step she took was slow and shaky. Every alien watched her closely, whispering things she tried not to hear. That one? She's cursed. She killed that human in his sleep. She's unstable. She's a failed prototype. Each whisper struck her heart, but she kept her eyes on the ground. For the first time in years, someone was leading her away from this nightmare. When they reached the edge of the market, the human stopped and crouched down to her level. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She blinked, confused. "Name?" "Yes." "What should I call you?" She looked down, ashamed. "They never gave me one." The human felt something break inside him. "No one deserves to live without a name," he said gently. "You can choose one now. Or we can find one together." Her eyes widened. The idea of being allowed a name felt unreal. She had always been Subject 11, failed unit, or the problem. I don't know how to choose," she whispered. "That's okay. We have time," he said. She hesitated, then looked straight at him. "What about you?" "What is your name?" He smiled softly. "Call me Marcus." She repeated it slowly, like learning a precious word. Cuss. He nodded. "Good. Now let's get you out of here." But just as they took another step, her collar suddenly buzzed violently. She screamed in pain and fell to her knees. Marcus grabbed her shoulders. "Hey, what's happening?" Her breaths came fast. "The collar reacts when I move too far from the place where they kept me. It thinks I'm escaping." Marcus looked around quickly. The marketplace was staring again, but this time with horror. The owner shouted from behind them, "Human! That collar is linked to an off-world command center. If they detect she's being moved, they'll come for her." Marcus's jaw tightened. "Let them try," he said coldly. He lifted the girl into his arms despite her pain. She gasped as the collar glowed brighter. "Hold on," he told her. She clutched his shirt weakly. You shouldn't help me," she whispered. "I'm dangerous. They will hunt you. They will kill you." Marcus began walking faster. "Let them try," he repeated. "I'm not leaving you." The collar blinked red. The girl took a shaky breath. "Marcus, if they find us, everything will change." He looked down at her trembling body. Then, "Let it change." And with that, he carried her into the shadows of the city, toward a path that would change both their lives forever. Marcus moved fast, his steps sharp and controlled, carrying the weak alien girl tightly in his arms. The noises of the market faded behind them, but the danger did not. Every light flicker, every sudden sound made the girl tense, trembling in fear. Her glowing collar continued to blink red, slow at first, then faster. She felt it. Marcus felt it. And somewhere far away, the ones who built that collar felt it. But for now, all that mattered was getting away from the market before someone decided to interfere. A city that attacks this. The streets outside the marketplace were narrow, dark, and crowded with neon signs that flickered like dying stars. Strange creatures walked past them, some watching with curiosity, some with fear. No one stopped them yet. Marcus kept his head low and his pace steady. "Are you in pain?" he asked softly. The girl nodded weakly. "Yes, but I can handle it. I always had to." He frowned at her words. Those were not the words of someone who had lived freely. Those were the words of someone who had survived. "What did they do to you?" Marcus asked. Her fingers tightened around his shirt. "Everything." That was all she said. The collars warned as they reached a shadowy alley. The collar blinked brighter. A high-pitched beep rang from it. The girl gasped. "Marcus, it's sending a signal." He stopped. "To who?" She swallowed hard. "To the military base that made me." Marcus's jaw tightened. "How far is it?" "Off-world," she whispered. "But they have fast ships. They will know soon that I'm gone." Marcus glanced around the alley, looking for anything he could use. "How long do we have?" he asked. She shook her head. "Minutes, maybe less." Marcus lifted her chin with gentle fingers so she would look at him. I won't let them take you. Her eyes filled with tears. No one ever said that to me. The chase begins. A deep metallic growl suddenly echoed through the alley. Marcus turned sharply. A turret camera at the end of the street moved, following their movements. A red beam scanned across the girl's collar. She stiffened. It has identified me. The camera flashed red. Marcus grabbed her hand and pulled her into a running pace. She stumbled but forced her legs to move. Behind them, alarms erupted across the city roofs. Warning. Illegal asset detected. Unauthorized movement. Prepare security response. The girl's breath came in sharp gasps. Marcus, they act drone security. Keep running, he said, pulling her faster. Above them, several small metal drones shot into the sky with glowing blue engines. Their gun barrels unfolded like deadly insects. The girl flinched in fear. They will shoot me on sight. Marcus looked up at the drones circling like vultures. Not while I'm here. The girl's hidden Poera drone swooped down and aimed at Marcus. He grabbed a metal pipe from the ground and swung it with perfect timing, smashing the drone out of the air. Sparks flew. The girl gasped. She had never seen someone protect her with such instinct. Another drone screeched downward toward her. The girl screamed and covered her head. But something strange happened. Her eyes flashed a soft blue light. Not bright, just a flicker. The drone suddenly froze midair, shaking violently, then fell straight down and cracked against the floor. Marcus stared. Did you do that? She looked terrified of herself. I didn't mean to. I can't control it. Marcus stepped closer, cupping her cheek gently so she wouldn't look away. That wasn't your fault. It saved us. She shook her head. Everything I do hurts people. No, he corrected softly. Everything they forced you to do hurt people. You're different. Her eyes widened at his words. No one had ever separated her from what she had been forced to become. Hiding in the Undia Rayleigh, Marcus pulled her through a side door into a dark stairwell that led underground. Pipes hissed with steam and lights buzzed overhead. We'll hide here for a while, he said. She sat on a step, breathing hard. Her collar dimmed slightly, but still glowed red. Marcus knelt beside her and studied the collar's structure. Can I remove it? He asked. Her eyes widened in fear. No, if you try, it will kill me instantly. He froze. Kill you? It has a death trigger, she whispered. To make sure I never escape. Marcus clenched his jaw. They made you a prisoner in your own skin. She nodded weakly. That's why I begged you. Because I had no time left. He took her, shaking hands in his. You're not alone anymore. She looked down at their joined hands, hers small and trembling. His warm and steady. Marcus, why are you helping me? She whispered. Humans never come here. Humans never buy people like me. Marcus looked into her afraid, hopeful eyes. Because no one deserves chains, he said. And because when you asked me for help, I heard truth in your voice. She swallowed. But you don't even know what I am. Then tell me, he said gently. Her breath trembled. I'm not a weapon. But they built me like one. Marcus waited silently. I can connect to machines, she continued. I can shut them down or control them. They wanted to use me in war. Marcus understood everything now. That's why the military wants you back, he said. She nodded. I am not supposed to exist outside their base. At that moment, footsteps echoed from above. Heavy, metallic. The girl froze. Marcus. They're already here. Marcus stood, pulling her behind him protectively. Let them come. She grabbed his sleeve desperately. Marcus, they will kill you. He looked back with a calm expression. They'll have to try. The underground stairwell shook as the heavy footsteps above grew louder. Dust fell from the ceiling. The girl pressed herself closer to Marcus instinctively. her trembling fingers gripping his sleeve like it was the only safe thing in the galaxy. Marcus raised one hand slightly, signaling her to stay quiet. His other hand reached toward a metal rod on the ground. Not a weapon, but something he could use if things got bad. The footsteps stopped. A harsh metallic voice echoed from the top of the stairs. Subject 11 detected. The girl froze. Another voice followed, lower, colder, almost inhuman. Retrieve the asset. Human interference, irrelevant. Marcus whispered to her, "We're getting out of here." But before they moved, she grabbed his wrist tightly. "Marcus, you have to know something," she whispered, her voice shaking. "If they take me back, they won't just kill me," he frowned. "Then what will they do?" Her eyes filled with terror. "They will shut down entire cities to find me. They will burn planets if I go missing. They will not stop." Marcus's eyes narrowed. "Why? You're just one girl." She shook her head slowly. Painfully, "I'm not just a girl." She looked away, ashamed of the truth she had hidden. "I am the last piece of a failed project. They call me 11 because there were 10 before me. 10 experiments. 10 dead." Marcus went silent. She continued, voice breaking. "They wanted a living machine. Someone who could connect to war systems, control armies, shut down enemy fleets without a single shot. A human could never survive that level of neural link. Most aliens couldn't either." Marcus studied her closely. "But you could." She gave a small, sad nod. "Yes, my mind can touch machines like they're alive. When I look at technology, I feel its heartbeat." Her fingers trembled. "But that connection comes with a price. Every time I use my power, it hurts me. It burns my nerves." They wanted a weapon with no limits, but I have limits. I break. Marcus clenched his jaw. "That's why they tortured you. To make you stronger? To force me past my limits," she whispered. "They didn't want a person. They wanted a tool." Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. She flinched, not from fear, but from surprise. No one had touched her like that before. Not gently, not without pain. "Look at me," Marcus said softly. She turned her head. "You're not a tool. You're not a weapon. You're someone who deserves a chance to live." Her eyes widened, as if she had never heard those words in her entire life. But then the stairwell ceiling vibrated again. A loud metallic crash echoed. The voices were closer now. "We need to move," Marcus said. She nodded quickly, wiping her tears. The tight escaping Marcus guided her down the stairwell, where pipes hissed and water dripped from rusted metal. At the bottom was an old maintenance corridor, dark and narrow. "Can you walk fast?" Marcus asked. She nodded, though her legs were shaky. "I will try." They hurried through the corridor, their footsteps echoing between the walls. Behind them, they heard the thudding steps of heavy armored units following. Marcus scanned the walls for a path. "There," the girl pointed weakly. "A tunnel leads to the transit lines. If we reach them, we can hide inside the crowd." Marcus guided her down the tunnel, but not before he noticed something disturbing. Her collar was blinking in a strange pattern. Not red, not yellow. Blue. "What does blue mean?" Marcus asked. She swallowed hard. "It means my creators have activated remote override." Marcus felt a cold rush down his spine. "Override? They can force my body to stop moving, or force it to move. They can shut off my voice. They can even take over my power and use it through me." Marcus grabbed her shoulders, voice sharp but protective. "Listen to me. I won't let them control you." She shook her head desperately. "You don't understand. This collar links to my brain. I feel them, trying to reach inside me." Marcus's fist tightened around the metal rod. "Then we need to break the signal." Her power awakened as they raced through the tunnel. The girl suddenly staggered and pressed her hands to her temple. No. They're trying to activate me." Marcus stopped and knelt in front of her. "Fight it. Stay with me." "I can't," she cried softly. "They built me to obey. They built me to open systems for them. They built me to kill without wanting to." She squeezed her eyes shut. "My mind, it's splitting." Marcus grabbed her face gently, forcing her to look at him. "Focus on my voice," he said firmly. "Not theirs. Mine." Her breathing was shaky, but slowly. Her eyes focused again. "Marcus," she whispered, "your voice. It's pulling me back." "Good," he said. "Stay with me." She nodded slowly, but the collar glowed even brighter, pulsing with force. Behind them, mechanical soldiers entered the tunnel. Their red visors glowing. The lead soldier lifted a weapon. "Subject 11. Surrender for recapture." She flinched instinctively. Marcus moved in front of her, shielding her with his own body. "Marcus!" she cried. "You'll die." He didn't move. "I promised I wouldn't leave you." The soldiers opened fire, but the moment the energy bolts shot forward, something else happened. The girl screamed and grabbed Marcus's back. Her eyes glowed bright blue, powerful, trembling, uncontrolled. The tunnel walls flickered. The soldiers' guns sparked wildly. Metal crumpled. Lights shattered. The entire corridor shook like it was alive. Marcus held her tightly as her power exploded outward, a wave of invisible force. The soldiers dropped to the ground like broken statues. Marcus looked at her with shock. "You saved us," he whispered. She shook uncontrollably, tears streaming down her face. I didn't control it." Marcus gently wiped a tear from her cheek. "But you protected me." She stared at him, confused, scared, and touched. "And no one has ever said that to me." Marcus helped her stand. "Let's go." "But Marcus," she whispered, voice trembling. "Yes? You still don't know the biggest secret." He met her eyes. "Then tell me." She looked terrified to speak. "I wasn't made to kill humans," she whispered. "I was made to kill for humans." Marcus froze, and the tunnel fell silent. The tunnel was silent for a long moment after her final whisper. "I was made to kill for humans." Marcus stared at her, confused, shocked, and unable to speak for a heartbeat. The girl's hands shook. Her body felt cold, as if saying the truth had opened an old wound she had hidden for years. "Explain," Marcus finally said, voice calm but heavy. The girl took a small step back, as if afraid he would reject her. Her collar blinked weakly, like a dying heartbeat. "You were never supposed to know," she whispered. "Humans helped design the project that made me. Your scientists worked with alien military leaders. They wanted a weapon that followed human logic, not alien logic." Marcus frowned. "That makes no sense. Humans don't work with governments like that." She shook her head softly. "Not all humans. Just a small group, hidden. These humans believed machines weren't enough. They wanted something alive. Something that could think like a human, but connect like a machine." Marcus exhaled slowly. "They made you." She nodded. "Yes, a living key. Something that could open enemy systems. Something that could shut down defenses. Something that could make entire fleets fall." A tear rolled down her cheek, but when they realized the pain it caused me. "The human team wanted to stop the project. They demanded it." "What happened?" Marcus asked. Her voice broke. "The alien military killed them." Marcus's eyes widened. "They killed their own team?" "And the project was handed to another group," she said. "A cruel one. They experimented on me until I almost died. When they saw I wasn't unbreakable, they threw me into the market to die quietly." Marcus closed his eyes for a moment. No wonder she begged him for help. "No one should be created for war," he said softly. She looked at him, eyes trembling with emotion. "You don't hate me?" she whispered, "even after knowing what I was made for?" Marcus moved closer and lifted her chin gently. "No," he said firmly. I hate the people who built chains for you. Her breath caught in her throat. No one had ever defended her. Not once in her life. She lowered her gaze. Marcus, you're different from anyone I've met. He gave her a small smile. And you're different from what they tried to make you. The city breathes diadagiar. The ground shook again. The mechanical soldiers they had disabled earlier began to twitch. Some systems were rebooting. Marcus pulled the girl behind him. We need to move before they get up. She nodded, wiping her eyes and trying to steady her breath. Come on, he said, guiding her through the dark tunnel. As they walked, her balance faltered. Marcus placed a hand around her waist to support her. The gentle touch made her stiffen, not from fear, but from confusion. You keep doing that, she said quietly. Doing what? He asked. Helping me, protecting me, touching me without hurting me. Her voice softened. I don't know how to react. You don't have to know, Marcus said. Just stay close. I won't let go. Her heart felt strange, warm and tight at the same time. They eventually. They reached an old maintenance hatch. Marcus pried it open, revealing a small abandoned safe house filled with dust, old wires, and broken tools. It's not pretty, Marcus said, but we can rest for a moment. She walked in slowly, staring around as if stepping into a new world. Marcus handed her his jacket. She stared at it, confused. What is this for? To keep you warm, he said. You're shaking. She hesitated, then wrapped the jacket around herself. It smelled like metal, sweat, and something safe, warm. She whispered, It feels strange. Marcus laughed softly. It's supposed to. She sat on an old metal crate, hugging his jacket. Marcus studied her collar again. Can I try disabling the signal? He asked. Her eyes widened in fear. Marcus, if you touch it wrong, it will kill me instantly. He nodded. Then I won't touch it. She looked down. Marcus, everything about me is dangerous. Even resting is dangerous. You don't have to. I do, he said. I chose to. She looked at him, eyes softening. I don't understand you. You don't have to understand me, he replied. Just trust me. She hugged herself tighter. I do trust you, she whispered. Marcus's heart softened at those words. Her first. Lauugioka. Marcus opened a small ration pack and handed her a piece of dried fruit. She stared at it suspiciously. What is this? She asked. Food. Try it. She sniffed it like a scared animal. It smells strange. Just eat it, he said, smiling. She took a small bite and her eyes widened. It's sweet. Marcus chuckled. Yeah, that's the point. She took another big bite, then immediately choked. Marcus rushed to her. Hey, slow down. She coughed and laughed at the same time, a soft, unsure, beautiful sound she had never made before. Marcus froze. It was the first time he had heard her laugh. The girl touched her lips with surprise. Was that me? She asked. Yes, Marcus said, and it was nice. She looked down, shy. I've never laughed before, she whispered. Marcus's chest tightened painfully. You deserve to laugh as much as you want, he said. She smiled, small, shaky, but real. Danger Aratuwament felt peaceful. Until the safe house lights suddenly flickered. The girl stiffened instantly. Marcus, she whispered. They found us. How? Marcus asked. She touched her collar. They used me to find you. Her eyes filled with horror. They're coming. Many soldiers, big ones. Marcus stood and grabbed a metal cable. Then we run. No, she said suddenly, grabbing his arm. Her voice was stronger than before, desperate. Marcus, I can't keep running while you fight everything alone. He looked at her. What are you saying? She took a deep breath. I want to stand with you. He shook his head. You'll be hurt. She stepped closer, her voice trembling but firm. I don't want you to fight for me. I want to fight beside you. Marcus stared at her. In her eyes, he saw pain. He saw fear. He saw trauma, but more than anything, he saw courage. All right, he said softly. We fight together. She nodded, her hands glowing faintly with her unstable power. Behind them, the safehouse walls trembled as soldiers approached. For the first time in her life, she wasn't facing danger alone. The old safehouse shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling, pipes rattled, and the faint sound of heavy machinery echoed through the tunnels outside. The girl wrapped Marcus's jacket tighter around herself, her trembling fingers pressing into the fabric. She could feel the mechanical footsteps. She could feel the scanners sweeping for her. She could feel the military's cold, cruel minds searching through the network. Marcus. They're close, she whispered. How close? He asked, tightening his grip on the metal cable he had taken as a weapon. She closed her eyes. Her power let her sense machines, but sensing the military's war units always brought pain. She exhaled shakily. Less than 1 minute, Marcus nodded. He wasn't afraid. He had seen danger 1,000 times before. But this, protecting a fragile girl against machines designed to kill, was different. Stay behind me, he said, but she shook her head, stepping beside him instead, though her legs trembled. You promised we fight together. Marcus looked at her, small, scared, shaking, but standing strong. All right, he said softly. Together. The soldiers' arrive. The safehouse door trembled, then exploded inward with a deafening blast. Metal shards flew everywhere. Marcus grabbed the girl and pulled her behind him as smoke filled the room. Through the smoke, red glowing visors appeared. 5, 10, 15 mechanical soldiers stepped inside, tall, armored, unfeeling. The lead soldier spoke. Subject 11, return for recapture. The girl stiffened. The command vibrated inside her mind. Marcus stepped forward, blocking her completely. She's not going. The soldiers didn't even pause. Human obstruction detected. Remove. Weapons rose. Target sensors locked. Energy cores hummed to life. The girl gripped Marcus's arm tightly. No, they'll kill you. Marcus didn't move. Let them try. A soldier fired. Marcus swung the metal cable, the blast bouncing off it and denting the floor. He rushed forward, slamming the cable into the soldier's head. Sparks flew as the machinery broke. Another soldier aimed at the girl. She screamed, but not in fear. The air around her pulsed. Her eyes glowed blue. The soldier's weapon jammed instantly, locking up, overheating, then exploding in its own hands. She gasped, shaking. I didn't mean to. Good job, Marcus said quickly. Do it again. She shook her head desperately. I can't control it. Try. Another soldier aimed at her. She held out her hand, terrified. The weapon froze. The soldier froze. Everything around her flickered like broken holograms. Marcus swung the cable again, smashing another soldier into pieces. They fought like chaos and balance, a human with raw strength, and an alien girl with unstable power. But the soldiers kept coming, her breaking point. One of the larger soldiers, twice the size of the others, stepped forward. Its armor was heavier. Its faceplate displayed a warning symbol, activating remote control mode. The girl screamed as her collar lit up again. No, no, no. She cried, falling to her knees. The collar sent a shock through her brain, forcing her body to stiffen. Marcus grabbed her, holding her tightly. What's happening? They're trying to take control of me, she gasped. Marcus, they want to use my body to kill you. Her hands twitched involuntarily, glowing bright blue. Her power sparked uncontrollably, striking the walls. Marcus held her tightly. Fight it! I can't, she cried. They built me to obey. I can't stop. You can, Marcus said firmly. Look at me. She forced her eyes to meet his. You're not a weapon, Marcus said. You're a person. You're stronger than they think. Her breath trembled. They're in my head, she whispered. pulling me like a puppet, then break the strings, Marcus said. You're not theirs. Her eyes flooded with tears. I don't know how. Start with one thing, Marcus said softly. What is the one thing you want the most right now? She stared at him. You. She wanted to say it. She felt it. She almost whispered it. But instead, she swallowed. And said, I want to be free. Marcus squeezed her hand. Then fight for it. Her eyes glowed again. But this time, not with fear. With determination. Her power unleashed. The giant soldier stepped closer. Mechanical voice booming. Override complete. Initiating hostile action. Her body shook violently. No, she whispered. The collar glowed brighter. Nitrogen monoxide. Her hands clenched. No. The collar sparked blue electricity surging around it. Then it cracked. Marcus stared in shock. The girl screamed, throwing her head back. Light exploded outward from her, bright blue. Powerful, unstoppable. Every soldier in the room froze. Their systems glitched, their joints locked. Their weapons sparked and collapsed. The giant soldier shook violently as circuits burned inside it. The girl cried out one last time. Then the entire room exploded with a wave of energy. When the light faded, every soldier was down. Every machine was dead. Only Marcus and the girl remained standing. She collapsed into his arms. Exhausted. Marcus caught her gently. You did it, he whispered. Her voice was faint. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't, Marcus said. You saved us. She looked up weakly. Marcus, I'm scared. He wiped her cheek gently. Of what? Of myself, she whispered. My power, it's too strong, too wild. If I stay with you, I might hurt you. I might hurt others. Marcus shook his head. No, power isn't evil. The people who abused you were. Her eyes softened. But Marcus, you can't keep protecting me. I'm pulling you into war. The military will send more, bigger ones. They won't stop. And every minute I stay with you, she lowered her head, you get closer to death. Marcus lifted her chin. And every minute you stay with me, we get closer to freedom. She stared into his eyes, confused, emotional, overwhelmed. Why? She whispered. Why are you risking everything for me? Marcus brushed a strand of hair from her face. Because you're not just some experiment, he said. Because you didn't deserve any of this. Because you trusted me. Because you matter. She swallowed hard. Marcus, what am I to you? He held her gaze. You're someone worth fighting for. Her breath trembled. But before she could answer, the tunnel walls shook again. A deeper, heavier engine roared in the distance. The girl's eyes widened with terror. No, she whispered. They sent Titan units. Marcus, those machines kill armies. Marcus helped her stand. Then we don't fight, he said. She looked at him in confusion. Marcus tightened his grip on her hand. We run. She nodded, gripping him back. And together, they fled into the darkness. Toward the final confrontation, neither of them could escape. The tunnel shook harder than ever as Marcus and the girl ran through the darkness. The ground trembled under their feet. Dust fell in thick clouds. Pipes cracked and sprayed steam. The deep, thunder-like boom boom behind them grew louder. The girl's voice trembled. Marcus, they're here. He didn't have to ask who. He already knew. Titan units. War machines the size of buildings. Hunters created for killing cities. And they were coming for her. Marcus pulled her tighter against his side. Don't. Stop. Run. But she stumbled. Her legs were shaking from exhaustion, and her collar, now cracked, flickered dangerously. Marcus, she whispered. I can't. He scooped her up into his arms. You don't need to walk, he said. I've got you. Her heart tightened painfully. No one had ever said that to her. Behind them, the tunnel walls began to split. Metal tore. Heavy footsteps echoed like thunder. Then a massive Titan unit smashed into the tunnel. Its giant red eye scanned the darkness. Subject 11, primary target located. The girl whimpered and buried her face in Marcus's chest. He held her close. The Titan unit lifted its massive cannon arm. The energy core hummed, glowing bright orange. Marcus ran. He didn't slow. He didn't look back. The tunnel ahead opened into a huge underground transport station, empty, broken, and forgotten. But a rail line still glowed faintly on one side. If we reach the maintenance tracks, Marcus said breathlessly, we can escape to the outer dunes. But Marcus, she cried, Titans don't stop. They will follow forever. He didn't answer because he knew she was right. The DCI the station shook violently as the Titan unit broke through the tunnel behind them. Concrete shattered. Sparks flew. The giant machine stepped inside, crushing metal beneath its feet. It aimed at them again. The girl pressed a hand to her temple. Marcus, I can feel its mind. Its systems, its protocols, it's too strong. Can you disable it? He asked. She shook her head, tears in her eyes. No, my power is unstable. If I try to shut it down, I might explode everything, including you. Marcus set her down gently behind a pile of debris. Stay here. Her eyes widened in horror. No, Marcus, don't leave me. He touched her cheek with a warm hand. I'm not leaving you. I'm buying us time. Her breath broke. Marcus, please. I can't lose you, he whispered softly. You won't. Then he stood and walked straight toward the Titan unit. Without fear, the girl reached out helplessly. Marcus. Marcus, please. But he didn't turn around. He had already made his choice, the fight. He was never supposed to wind. The Titan unit fired. Marcus dove behind a wall as the blast shattered half the station. But instead of running away, he picked up a broken metal beam the size of a spear and charged. The Titan swung its giant arm. Marcus rolled under it. The shockwave cracked the floor. He swung the metal beam like a sword, hitting the Titan's leg joints. Sparks flew. The Titan staggered but didn't fall. Warning: human hostile. Target secondary. Eliminate. It fired again. Marcus barely dodged as the blast scorched the floor where he had stood. The girl screamed. Marcus, stop. You can't win, he shouted back. I don't need to win. I just need to keep it busy. Her heart shattered at the sound of his voice. Tired, strained, yet determined. The Titan unit raised its cannon point blank. Marcus braced himself, but at the last moment, the girl stood. Her hair floated as if underwater. Her eyes glowed bright blue. Her hands shook violently as she faced the Titan. No, she whispered, you will not take him. The Titan turned toward her. Marcus's eyes widened. No, stay back. But she raised her hands, and the machines trembled. Her final break. And REBI at the Titan. Unit's system screamed. Lights flickered. Its armor shook as if something invisible crawled inside it. The girl cried out, not in fear, but in raw burning pain. Marcus, she sobbed. Hold on, I'm trying. Her hands glowed so brightly that even Marcus had to shield his eyes. Blue energy surged through the Titan's body. Short-circuiting wires, melting circuits, crushing internal motors. The Titan thrashed like a beast caught in chains. But its size, its power, was too much. The girl screamed, her legs giving out. Her power faltered. The Titan aimed its cannon at her. Marcus dropped everything and sprinted. The Titan fired. A flash of orange light exploded right in front of the girl. Marcus tackled her to the ground, shielding her with his body. The blast hit his back. He groaned in agony. Marcus! She cried, grabbing him as he collapsed on top of her. He coughed, breath ragged. I'm okay. I'm still here. No, you're not. She sobbed. You're hurt because of me. Marcus touched her face weakly. You're alive. That's what matters. She held him, tears falling onto his skin. Marcus, I can't run anymore. I can't hide. I can't live like a hunted animal. He brushed his thumb across her cheek. Then choose something better, she blinked through tears. What? Choose freedom, choose life, choose your own future. Her lips trembled. Marcus, what am I to you? He whispered, you're someone I want to protect. Someone. I want to live, someone who deserves more than chains. Her heart cracked open, like light breaking through darkness. She stood up slowly, carrying Marcus with her arms supporting him. I'm done running, she whispered. I decide now. She turned toward the Titan unit, barely standing, its systems flickering. Her eyes glowed brighter than stars. I am not your weapon. She raised her hand, and I am not your slave. Blue light exploded from her palm. A sonic wave blasted through the Titan unit, ripping it apart from the inside. Metal shattered. Circuits burst. The machine collapsed in a fiery heap. Silence filled the station. She fell to her knees, crying from pain, fear, and freedom. Marcus crawled beside her, wincing. She held his face in her hands. Marcus, what happens now? He smiled gently through the pain. Now? He stood with her, holding her tightly. Now we live. She rested her head against his chest. Then, I will follow you, she whispered. Not as a slave, not as a weapon, but as someone who finally knows what freedom feels. Like, Marcus kissed the top of her head. Good, he whispered. Because I'm not letting you go. The camera fades out on them walking into the sunlight above the station. Together, free.